Yes, like as soon as I did this, it was like I'm done with this. Uh, yeah. Well, anyways, I'm back. So it's working. Um, so production bundler, production asset bundler working. And that deserves 3 exclamation points. I mean, honestly, it just deserves 2. I feel like 3 exclamation points is pretty heavy. It's kind of like, um, yeah, maybe like when I merge the multi-tenant stuff in. Now, the crappy thing about doing stuff like this is that like I'm pretty sure the code's good, I'm pretty sure everything works, but I'm not positive. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna have to continue playing around with it and showing it to people and having people play around with it. Um, so if anyone wants to play around with this, try building apps in Remake. I'd really appreciate it. That's what I need the most right now. Uh, like really, really. Um, but yeah, so we simplified the asset bundler a lot too. We split it into multiple files, which is pretty good, I think. I guess the next thing is, let's look at this to-do, right? Init API new. Can I do this in main.js instead? That is a good question, David. Past David. So we're going to look in here, and in here, actually. And we're getting the parameters from the URL. And I'm going to be right back, because I have to get some water, because I've been talking a lot, if you haven't noticed. I'll be right back. I am still alive. Sorry for the long absence. I had to help my wife because she's sick. Um, I was about to go and ask a final question, but I guess I'll have to wait. Android. Uh, do you like playing Blackjack? Um, I have played Blackjack together. Sorry, I have played Blackjack before. It's not my favorite, but yeah, every once in a while. Do you play for money? Because I think I wouldn't like that. My favorite card game is probably Magic the Gathering, followed by Sushi Go. Um, but like no, like my favorite like card game. You know what? I should do like some Magic for you guys sometimes. I used to do card Magic like quite a bit. Um, but probably uh, Texas Hold'em. I actually kind of forget how to play it, but I remember it was pretty fun. Texas Hold'em. Um, yeah, yeah, that's probably my favorite. You always wanted to play that, but you never had anyone to play with. Yeah, I don't actually play anymore. I used to have some very valuable cards. Probably could have sold them for like at least $1,000, probably. Yeah, but I lost them in a move. It was awful. And actually, I would still have them. I wouldn't have sold them by now. I would still have them, but I lost them, and that really sucks. Pilfer says, "What? So what's the perfect purpose of remake? I'm trying to keep an open mind. LOL." Sounds like maybe you're not. No, okay. What's the purpose of remake? Um, so the purpose of remake is I'll show you. I'll show you in a very simple diagram. So like there's a few steps you need to do when you're building an app in order to get product market fit. Do you know what product market fit is? It's basically just like when customers are like, I love this product. This is amazing. I want to pay for it. Like, I want to give you money. That's product market fit. So that's like when your product is good enough, right? So we'll say that is here. And over here is like you have, you're doing like some research and design. And maybe here is like the build, the initial like development. And then here is like the like feedback, getting feedback. And so you have to go through these steps over and over and over again. So I'll just like make a big circle and put it in the background. So these three steps are like super important, and you have to go through them over and over and over again. Let's make a fun arrow. Oh, nice. That sounds nice. So I'm explaining why you would want to use remake to a skeptic. So basically, you have to do these steps in any startup over and over and over again. Oh, okay. Well, that's really good feedback. So this kind of looks like a three-eyed alien that's smiling a little bit. And then eventually you get to this is like the goal, right? So, sorry, Android, I will respond in a second. And let's make this, it might seem like I'm delaying by making this giant diagram. And to be honest, I am a little bit. So this is the happy goal. Oh, Android, you're leaving? Oh, you're going by. Oh, you like to play Texas Hold'em, but only for fun. Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, I'd be up for doing that for fun. So anyways, getting back to your question, pilfers. So you kind of have to do these phases over and over and over again, the research and design, the development. Oh, wait, no, this would be like prototype. So then you have a prototype, and then you go back to like researching and designing. So these steps can be like quite costly. Like the research and design can take you upwards of a month. The development could take you upwards of 6 months, right? Depending on the complexity of the project. And then you like have a prototype and get feedback on it. Man, now I gotta make the circle bigger. So basically the whole idea behind Remake is that this cycle is so short that you don't have to really worry about this development phase. So like say this development phase is on average about 6 months. With Remake, we're trying to cut that down to something like 2 weeks. And like maybe, right? Like maybe it's even shorter. Maybe if we make Remake good enough, it's just a couple days to implement a new feature or even a whole new section of your app. So basically it's supposed to make your web app development incredibly quick. And as long as you're building something relatively simple, it's going to stay pretty quick. Now, that's going to make it so that you can get to product market fit, right? And then after that, we'll say pitch. Do I have a video demo? I do. I don't like your name, but if you go to remaketheweb.com, I guess it's not spelled with a K, so you could be referring to another clan, I guess. But if you go to remaketheweb.com, there's a 15-minute tutorial here. And I just actually released this, so I'm looking for feedback on it. So if you want to give me some feedback on that, that'd be great. We're aiming to cut this down from 6 months to around 2 weeks, maybe even less. And now your research step, it's still going to be maybe a week or two. Your prototype and feedback step is still going to maybe be a couple weeks. But if we can keep this really tight, you can get to product market fit much, much earlier. And then if you can do that, then after that, use whatever framework you want, right? You have a product, you have built it, you've designed it, it works. You want to make it super complicated, you want a GraphQL database for the backend. Well, after you have product market fit, go ahead and do that, right? That's fine. But this is the whole purpose of Remake, is just to try to get you to product market fit much earlier. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, and I think you could still run like production services as long as like your production app is, not like a social network. I think you could still run it using Remake. So it's not like primarily supposed to be a prototyping tool. It's supposed to be for building, production apps. But if you just use it as a prototyping tool, it would still, give you a lot of value. You could be using it for the first 2 years of your business, right? For example, and then only once you start getting paying customers, then you could, rebuild the app in another framework or something, or, improve Remake, right? edit, change the backend of Remake to make it fit your needs. But the idea is that, say you're just a designer, and you don't really know a lot of backend code, you're going to still be able to build a Remake app, right? So it's not going to take you a ton of time to build an app that would take someone else who's using a framework, 6 months or 8 months to build. Even just knowing HTML and CSS, you're going to be able to build something with Remake in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, right? That's pretty much the idea, is that it's kind of leveling the playing field. It's making it so that everyone can create apps really quick. So it levels the playing field and gets your product to market much more quickly. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the whole selling proposition. And the reason I came up with it is because I was tired of building the same things over and over again, as far as how to edit data, how to save data, creating user accounts, provisioning databases. I was just tired of that whole thing. I just wanted to be able to build apps and just focus on that. And like that part for me is really about the research and the design and, getting feedback. The development is just kind of something that gets in the way. So yeah, I'd say probably like if there was like a saying to go behind it, it's like stop letting long development cycles get in the way of building your perfect web app or a perfect product. Yeah, so I mean, I'm kind of honestly building this for myself to a large degree because I would love to have a service like this where all I have to do is, tangle around with some HTML and CSS and not really have to worry about the backend. So what sets it apart from other frameworks? Pseudo-dynamic static site generation. Yeah, so the HTML first approach scares you. Yeah. So what sets it apart from other frameworks? So with other frameworks, other JavaScript frameworks, they let you compose, different components and different elements using JavaScript, right? Using JavaScript components. Whereas Remake takes the exact opposite approach. It doesn't care about JavaScript components at all. All of your components live in HTML, and the data is attached directly to the DOM. So if you move data, if you move an element in the DOM, your data will probably move too. And if you move data in the hierarchy of the DOM, your data will probably move in the hierarchy of the data. So the data and your application's layout, the HTML, is very tightly coupled. Now that makes it kind of hard to do some things, and refactoring, I will admit, could be a little bit difficult sometimes. However, it's also really intuitive because if you say you have a to-do item, the text in that to-do is the data of that to-do. So if you move the element to the bottom of the list, doesn't it make sense that the data would also switch position? I mean, that just kind of feels natural in a lot of cases. And you even see that in React or Vue or Angular. A lot of the time, the data you load into the component is the data that's displayed in the component, and you're not really using it in too many other places. Now, that being said, Remake has the ability to create global data even in a deeply nested context. It's a little hard to do, but it's not super hard to do. And yeah, I mean that's the basic idea. So it makes it incredibly fast, basically. That's the to build like a prototype or to build like the first 10 versions of your web app. You're gonna be moving much faster than a lot of other people out there. So if you're building a lot of apps or you have a lot of different customers, or say you're building WordPress sites for people, instead of building a WordPress site, you build it in Remake. You have it done in half the time, and you have a much nicer, much smoother editing experience. So you could even just use it for like simple site development. And the nice thing is, because Remake is on server rendered web app, right? So it's backed by server rendering all of the pages. You actually don't need to include the Remake framework at all if you're just viewing the page. So if you're not an admin of the page, if you don't have the ability to edit the page, just don't include Remake, and now your page is going to load incredibly quickly, and be SEO friendly and have all the benefits of a server rendered app, and you don't even have to worry about the framework, because it doesn't actually render anything itself for you. That's all handled by the standard backend. Pronoob, welcome to the stream. So yeah, that's basically the idea. Yeah. Yeah, no, since it's just a standard kind of classic server rendered web app, the front end actually isn't responsible for rendering anything. It's actually just handlebars and JSON database that handles the rendering. Yeah. So what do you think? Does it sound interesting? Are you more convinced or less convinced? Do you still have concerns? Are you looking for a deeper explanation still? Because I do have some blog posts ready to go out soon. So maybe those would be helpful to you too. If you sign up for the newsletter on the on Remake the Web, you'll get an update when the blog posts go out, and I'll send you updates, and you can do that right here if you want. Okay, so I'm going to get back to coding for like 10 minutes, and then I'm going to go. Okay, so get params. This is something I'm calling a few different places. I want to read that response. Enjoying paste. Oh no. Okay, so Pilfer says, it sounds interesting, but I'm hesitant to have any opinion one way or the other until I watch the video. I like new tech and appreciate self-starters. I'll let you know what I think of the video, though, before you dip. Oh, awesome. Cool. Sounds good. Okay, so get params is something I'm calling on these API pages and on the rendered routes page. But in main.js, I am getting these, I'm getting some page params, but just kind of in a generic way. So I'm just seeing if, like what the first param, the second param, and the third param are. And then I use this, let's see where I use this. Find that. So I use that only in one place, only in get params. Interesting. Okay. So the question is why don't I get the params in main.js and then I don't have to call this separate, like then I'll have the params on every route no matter what. And I can tell what params to get based on if it's an AJAX request or not. So these ones, they get the params from the referrer. So for the API new and the API save, I get the params from the referrer. So I could just pass that in there. And then here, let's see where I use get params. Yeah, I don't get it from the referrer, but that's because this isn't an AJAX request. This is just a normal request. So I think, yeah, I could move get params all the way up. And would that help? I mean, it would cut down on the code here, which would be nice. Yeah, and kind of just make like one place where it would fail or not. But I mean, it really shouldn't fail. Get params, URL, page params. So yeah, in get params, that's the only place I'm using this. Okay, so I think what I can do is here, I'm going to say like page params generic, and I don't know if that's how you spell that. Generic, non-specific. Yeah, I like that name for it. And then if it's an AJAX request, requests. So do I use the request elsewhere here? Page params, yeah, to get the app name. So do I have the app name here? I do not. I'm getting it here. I think I can put this first though. Request. Yeah. So we can put this above. So that it's defined earlier. So that we know we'll have access to the app name here. And I think, let's see, that's probably all I'm using request for. Request to get the app name and to get the page params. Okay, cool. So so then I should be able to do get params. So I'll do this at the top here from utils. Okay. And so I think I just want to use it exactly the same as this. Okay. See you soon, Sullivan. Hope I'm still around. No, I'll wait until you get back. As long as it's like another, in under like 5 or 10 minutes. No, I'm gonna finish probably in like within 10 minutes. Yeah. I want to see if I can get this working. Okay, so I think this I can do here. So params error, and we'll say generic params GRL data, and then we'll say e.g. first param, second param, third param, and then down here we're going to say get actual params, or attach actual params to request object. Okay, so we'll say let params are equal await capture. Yes, absolutely. Please do not be gentle. You can even write up multiple pages if you want on it, because it's not the final video, but I am launching in under a month, so I would love to improve it before the launch. So do params error, capture, get params. I know it's probably a little confusing. I intended for it to be like 5 minutes and it ended up being 15, so. Okay, so we'll do request from, okay, so here, page params. So this one is going to be, we want to change the name of this to page params. Generic. Okay, and then we're going to have page params and then page params error. And then we're going to grab this and put it here. I think this is the right way to do it. I think so. So we'll delete that. And so we got so now we need to name this differently. Page params and page params error. And then we'll await and we'll get from the request. But we didn't attach them to the request yet. Yes, I agree. I agree with you. It was all middle. I'm probably not the target audience. I've been a software engineer for like 15 years, but there was a severe lack of feature showcasing. Yep. Yeah. Yep, definitely. Absolutely. You're 100% right. So what I'm thinking is like something like that would be the tutorial video, which is honestly, it was sorely lacking. I needed some kind of tutorial video just to show people how it worked. But you're right, there needs to be some kind of like overview video or kind of like buzz video. And I was planning on putting that at the top. So you'll notice on the homepage right now, there's a sign up for updates. I want this to be like the video, right? I just want to have like a video inline here. That's just like a 2 to 3 minute video showing all of the features. But yeah, that's really good feedback. I guess as a tutorial video, how did you feel though? Did you feel like things were clear? Like they were understandable? Yeah? Vue.js. Example section. Oh yeah? Yeah. I guess I could do that if I deployed it, if I deployed Remake to what do you call that? Glitch? Because it's a full stack framework now, so it would need to be that if it's an embed, it would need to be on a full stack thing. I guess it wouldn't have to be, right? I could just show the front end stuff. But yeah, I like that idea. Definitely. I like that idea. I want to have inline examples where you can just like edit the thing on the left and change the thing on the right and like be like, oh yeah, okay, that's how it works. Because it's such a new thing, you kind of need that, you know? Like you need the example to like, and you need to play around with it to you know, see if like what you do makes sense, right, in the output. So I totally agree with that. Feel free to leave more feedback. Honestly, that's a good idea. Can I ask you what you do for a living or something? What am I asking you? Like, yeah, you said you're in software development for 15 years. Do you do web development? Do you work at a startup? Do you, um, yeah. You still have no idea how it works, to be honest. Uh, yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Good points. I'm going to, I'll screenshot this. You own a couple of online businesses. Okay, cool. Um, yeah. Um, well, it sounds like you might be a good person to get feedback from. Um, what's your normal stack? So just to answer your questions, like about how it works, so you don't know how the data is stored. The data is stored in JSON files, and that's to make it easy for people to get started with. So we have user app data and user details, and the app data is where all their app data is stored. So this is an example of a to-do list application. So it's not going to be super scalable right out of the box if you're planning on storing tons of data in it. However, if each user just has like a few hundred or thousand lines of data, then it's perfect. So you know, if you're building a website builder or productivity app, it's fine. Also, we're going to make the backend more scalable in the future. This is just to make it much easier for people to get started with. I didn't want a database to be a requirement. Yep, it's a node backend. Yep. I didn't want it to be a requirement to have to set up a database or to know anything about databases, so I made an executive decision to just have it be all JSON for the backend so that people could just look through their data and edit it easily if they wanted to. And then, or what it can handle for scale. So as far as the scaling goes, we will work on that as things progress. But right now it's not unscalable. Each user has their own data. Yeah, yeah, I think that's true. File system locks might be an issue at scale. I actually don't know that much about file system, like read and write access and locks. So yeah, that's definitely something that, you know, might be an issue. Snakes and Tipicat, welcome to the chat. So yeah, you're right about that. So I think I'm going to just add them to the request object right here. So then that should, yeah, that should get around this problem of it not being defined yet. And this is going to be an incredibly long line, which is unfortunate. Pretty much your data throughput is going to be limited by the underlying file, by the underlying operating system's max open file limits. Yeah. Well, in the future, we definitely like want to use like Redis or Redis. I don't know how to pronounce that. Redis or some kind of caching layer. The reason we're reading directly from the file system on every request right now is just so that you can deploy a new app without us having to refresh the cache in complicated ways, or like reload the app, for every deploy, which would just be a nightmare for deployments to the deployment server. But yeah, once we get beyond like a few hundred users or a few hundred developers, we're definitely going to implement some kind of caching layer so that we don't actually have to load the JSON from disk in production. On your local machine, it'll still be like that, but yeah, definitely some kind of caching layer. Okay, so that looks good. And then request from refer equals true. I think that should be good. And then I should just be able to do this here. And this here. And then down here, I'm going to do page params equals page params. Or empty array. And I'm going to trigger some kind of error if you go to page params error, because that's going to be pretty important. And I guess we'll do this for now. Okay, regarding your stacks, it changes often depending on what you're doing. The last few weeks, it's been Node, Vue, TypeScript, Postgres, and a bunch of Dalvik craziness. Oh, and ARM version 7. So I don't know what Dalvik is or ARM 7. You do a ton of reverse engineering for work, and also assist with Frida.re. I don't know what Frida is either. That's cool. That sounds, yeah. I mean, the whole like Node, the Node Vue TS or TypeScript Postgres. This sounds like a pretty standard modern, web app stack. Dalvik equals Android bytecode, and ARM version 7 is assembly. Is this for like the chip? Or is ARM that like they use them in phones or something, right? Or yeah. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, sounds like you're kind of all over the place, but in a good way. What is what is this stack for? This is for the businesses you said? Are the businesses profitable? Are you like yeah, are these like supporting you, the couple of online businesses? So they're your full-time job and they have been for a while? That's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely where I want to go. So yeah, congratulations on being there. That's really cool. Okay, so yeah, I think this should work. And then we should just be able to have params equal to this page params. You have a long history in marketing, so fortunately it's pretty easy to stand up a SaaS and get it generating income. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean that's I think that's a lot of people's dreams. That's pretty cool. So we'll do that. I'm not totally 100% focused right now, so this might just all break everything. But I think this should work, and I think that should work, and I think this should work. Okay, let's go for it. Reload. Oh, God. Okay. 502. That gateway. No. So we'll do URL data and refresh. Oh, okay. Nice. Await is only valid in an async function. Sure. I think I can do this. I'm pretty sure I can do this for middleware. Oops. Yeah, I think I can just pass an async function on there. Oh, I did? Well, I am, actually. So, yeah, it leaked through a little bit. Yeah, I'm in Boston right now. Okay, so bad gateway, but did we get capture is not defined? Ooh, another good another good error because it's a simple error. So let's go. Oh, you're up in Maine. Nice. Is it must be pretty cold up there right now, right? Yeah, it must be chilly as heck right now. Do we have any async? No. Capture. Utils. Oh yeah? No params. Yeah, I haven't gone too far from home either lately. Request URL data. Page. Oh, I didn't. Oh, huh? Page params error. Oh, okay. So let's. What is the error? Refresh. Cannot destructure property first param of undefined or null. Okay, I think I'm done for today. I will fix this tonight, but probably not on stream. I just have to go get dinner and do some other stuff, and I've been streaming for a while. Christian Del Cid and Flamangu, welcome to the stream, and I appreciate you guys stopping by. However, I am just leaving. I might be on this weekend, but probably not. I will definitely be on next Thursday and Friday around noon or 1 p.m. And if you guys want to join the Discord chat, feel free. I will paste the link right here. And you can join us in the chat and know when the stream's going to launch. Pilfers, it was really nice talking with you. Thank you for the feedback. If you have any additional feedback, feel free to tweet at me or join the chat and tell me there. But yeah, please stop by later and we can talk more about it. Okay, I'll see you guys and have a good night.